Cue the music.
Did you hear that sigh? Deja vu, or should I say deja vu? So I did a video. It was the same stinking son of a bitch truck I was working on. It wasn't about this though. This video is about, this video could be me being pissed off and yelling. Because I could do some yelling over this, but I'm not going to do that. I decided to maybe, there's a lot of people out there that don't know stuff. There's a lot of shit that I don't know, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know stuff. So I thought rather than ventilating about this situation, maybe this could be a moment where somebody else could learn a little something. So let me try to teach you a little something, I guess. I don't know. Does that sound condescending? I don't want to sound condescending because I ain't all that. I mean, I'm all this, but I ain't all that. That's for damn sure. But there's some stuff I know, and I understand why I'm doing what I'm doing here. I have already painted this, is what I'm getting at, because chances are pretty good. You might have seen my other video. Oh, golly, there you might not have. But I have already done this, and now I'm doing it again. I did it last week, because that's how I roll. I kind of like to have some similarities in my life. So, every week I like to redo what I did last week because that's awesome. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So what happened here on this is I painted this truck, a bunch of it, as you can see. I did the hood, fenders, and then I blended the doors, and I did the tailgate as well. So I did that last week, and I have a brand of paint that I generally use. And the place where I buy my paint, they know the paint that I use, blah, blah, blah. In the world that we live in, though, for whatever reason, they were shorted a whole bunch of toners for their paint system that they mix the paint with. So they couldn't give me the color for this truck in the paint that I generally use. This is all laid out in the other video. Anyways, got a different brand of paint. I knew just right off the bat that I kind of don't like the stuff to start with. It's a cheaper line paint. So, it's just sketchy to start with. Let's put it that way. So anyways, didn't really have any choice because I wanted to get the job done. So I got the color that was a different brand. So in painting it, and the last video I did was painting the hood and the fenders and shit, and we walked around in the booth here, and it looked pretty damn good. And now I don't have the can of the paint that I used anymore because I used every last drop of it. And I think when I was done with it, when I threw the can in the garbage, I guarantee it bounced because I threw it. But I got the paint before, and it was a lesser brand paint. Now I'm blending the doors, and this is a gray. So generally, you can get a good enough idea how well your color is by stirring your color up and holding your stick up. And on metallics and grays like this, looking at it out of the can like this, it should generally look a little bit dark. When it's unreduced and when it's goo on the stick, it should look a little bit dark. This looks a little bit dark. This is the stuff that I use. I did that with the other paint. Stirred it up, looked at it up there. It was off a little bit. Kind of didn't really look right, The mixing ratio was odd. This shit, you mix it 50-50. That shit, they wanted you to mix 3 parts of your color to 1 part reducer. So that's only a 30% reduction. That's weird. And it was fairly thick to start with. I did not mix it like that because it was too damn thick. It was going to go on like primer. So I mixed it 3-2. Regardless, when I sprayed everything out, so I had to do the inner structures and I did the doors. So I'm painting the fenders and I'm blending the doors. The doors are already gray. I sanded them with 600, then I put some clear base coat or toner over top of it to give me a nice smooth surface because a lot of times your sand scratches and metallics, they can catch the metallics as you're blending your color out, and your metallics will hit those scratches. And then when you clear it, you'll see I better make sure there isn't a cat in here. Last video, we went through that too. Anyways, you'll see your sanding. You can see it. Sometimes you'll see it in your metallic blends. It'll catch the metallics and you'll clear over it and you can see what you've done. That's not good. So I put a coat of clear over it, clear base coat, not clear coat. Dries off quick, gives me a nice, uniform, shiny, slippery surface so my metallics just blow past. Whoop-de-doo, right? So we're already the right color. We're already gray on these doors. So I gave these doors 2 quick coats of color, just a little bit, about in not even a foot, and then a blend coat. Sufficient, right? Come in here, have a look with a light, looks good. By light, I mean I got a little light, a little bright light for looking at paint. Just I wanted to check my blends, make sure my blend looked good. Blend looked good. Color's awesome, blend's awesome. We're ready to go. So now the following day, I bring in the hood, the fenders, the tailgate, everybody. I seals them with a gray sealer, very close to this color of gray. I know my color is going to be a little bit transparent. I have some old paint from another job that is very close to this color gray. Actually, it's damn near. You see how lighter this looks because it's sanded. The color gray I put on it was darker than that, so it was pretty damn close. So then I proceeded to put 3 coats of my color onto the panel. 3 coats of base over top of a ground coated gray already. I mean, if you're not home with that, well, you ain't never going to be home. I come in and looked at it with the light. Everything looked good. The color looked good. The metallics were all right. Everything was good. I was happy. Cleared it. Happy with it. Have a look at it after it's cleared and stuff, thinking the color almost kind of seems like maybe it's a little bit light, maybe, but it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be. Put it on, look at it in the light in here, and I can show you how it looked with some degreaser on it, more or less. Look at it in the light in here, and I'm thinking, oh. So then I'm praying that it's just the difference in lighting, that my color's not really up to snuff. My microphone die yet? So I ain't digging on James Brown, really. So then I hang a fender on it, and I takes it outside, and now you can kind of see, you can see the difference there if you look, right? You see how the fender there, see how it's lighter than the door, but it's not real bad. Can you see it? I can see it, but do you recognize that fender is a little bit lighter? See how the door is a little bit darker than the fender? Now, a lot of times on certain colors, that light being these lights, these are LEDs I got in here, and there is still actually right above us here is some fluorescent lighting. Some of it's LEDs. You can see the difference in the colors of lights and the reflection. I don't worry about that too much in here because it's not very often I got to worry about color match. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, that could be the lighting is reflecting differently, the different paint, whatever. I'm thinking, hopefully, when this is outside, a lot of times if you look, you can look terrible in the booth, but you run it outside and Bob's your uncle. It looks awesome. I run this outside to have a look at my color on a nice sunny day last week. And how's that difference look to you there from that distance? See, hey, see, it looks lighter, hey, than the door. When I ran this son of a bitch outside, it looked worse than that. Because I took this outside, and when the sun hit it, the sun went straight through. And this was light gray, and the sun went straight through, and this was dark. Now this is 2 coats of this color plus a blend. This color that I used, this paint, is so shitty. I gotta get shit done. We can't just hang around over there and talk. I got shit I gotta do here. That paint that I used is so shitty that it has no integrity to it. It has no volume to it. There is no, you can see right through it. It's transparent is the bottom line. That's the problem, is the color is transparent and you can see right through it. The fender's light because you can see right through the fender into the ground coat that I put on underneath it. And the door is dark because you can see right through the blend and right through the 2 coats of base that I put on it. And you can see the darker gray right through all of it. I mean, that would take, in order for this to have worked, that means that this color that I put on, I probably would have had to put on 6 or 7 coats of that color to get this color, which wasn't right on the money anyways. I would have had to put 6 or 7 coats of base coat down in order to get a blendable match. And if blendable match sounds like it's not ideal, it's not ideal. It's blendable. So, son of a bitch, I'm doing it again. Because, I mean, I have never had that. This job is the first time that I've ever had. I mean, I've done it before on something where it was, for whatever reason, the color was damn near impossible, and I've put it on the vehicle, and you've been able, and the color was so far off and a metallic that I couldn't even get it to blend out worth a shit on the doors. And I mean, sometimes it just sucks. And thankfully, a lot of times people can't really see that kind of stuff. Because a lot of times you're not focusing on the color. You're looking at the shine, or you're looking at this, or you're looking at that. You're not really focusing on it. So you kind of get away with it. But, I mean, in this case, I mean, you're not getting away with it here. So the long-winded point is, the paint that I used was a lesser line. It was a cheaper color, and the cost of the paint was cheaper. So the reasoning for all this that we're getting to in a long-winded fashion here is that I believe, and I've talked to a few people, paint guys, about my belief, and nobody has come up with a viable argument that I buy. I believe that there ain't but a couple of different companies on the planet that make color pigment. So all the colors, if you ever gone and had house paint mixed up for your house, for your kitchen, for your bathroom, for your whatever, and you want your shade of blue, you want your shade of gray, whatever the hell colors tickling your wiener at the time. So to mix it up, if you ever watched them mix it up, they got a whole wall of cans, and it takes measured amounts of different colors to make whatever the hell color you're buying. So car paint, it's the same thing. All paints are the same way. So I don't believe in the world of automotive paint that there's that many companies out there making color pigment. So the color pigment they're making, they're going to be a powder. I don't know how they make it, but that's what it's going to be. And then that powder is going to be floated in a binder. And the binder is just goo. It's pancake syrup. So that's what they do to make it a liquid. They take their clear binder, and then they add the powder to it to make your initial color, to make your initial yellow, to make your initial red, to make your initial everything that's on that on that rack on the wall. All that shit is a powdered color floated in a binder to make that solid color, that solid red, solid blue, solid yellow. They take that red, blue, and yellow in little bits added together, tint up to make the color that you're getting. Grays? Well, grays have every color under the rainbow in them to get them. So back to what I was saying, in my opinion, in my belief, and I don't think I'm far off, I don't think that every paint company out there does not make their own pigments. Everybody doesn't have the manufacturing facilities or whatever, and I wouldn't be surprised if the shit's all made in Japan or somewhere. I don't know where it's made. Who knows? Maybe you know, but I don't know. All I know is the different paint manufacturers, they'll be buying the color pigments, and then they'll be floating those pigments probably in a binder that they probably buy from another company. And they're just putting it together, then they're wrapping their label around it, and they're firing it out. So I believe on water-based and solvent-based colors are going to have the same color pigments in them. The difference between the waters and the solvents is going to be the waters are floated in more of a latex type binder. And I know that. You can argue with me, and I don't give a shit. I'm not arguing. That's what it is. But it's going to be the same powder added to it. And then the water-based component is the liquid that they add to that powder. Now, all your different companies, there's probably going to be 37 different companies are going to be buying the same colored powder from the same manufacturer, coming in the same drum, and then they're just making their own soup out of it. So how are you going to get cheaper paint? How do you think you're going to get cheaper paint? You're going to put less of that powder in with your pancake syrup, right? How else are you going to do it? So then what happens when you do that is, well, now you got a color that you don't charge as much money for, but it takes 7 coats for it to cover. So are you really ahead of the game? And a lot of it, sometimes as well, the cheaper companies that you have, they don't have good color match capabilities in their colors. You know what I mean? Like they'll offer you a color. If it's a pearl red you're trying to paint, and I've seen this, it's a pearl red you're trying to paint, you go and you buy it in a cheap paint, kind of like the stuff that I used, and it's not a pearl paint. It's just a metallic. So you got your nice pearly red, and you buy this shit paint that you just bought, and you look at it, it ain't the same color. It ain't, right? You could have bought that paint. You could have paid $120 for a quart of that paint in, we'll say RM. Let's just say that. There, I said it. And you get a nice pearl red paint. But you buy a quart of that paint and you pay $69 for it from Bob's Color or whatever. Or in this case, we'll say what I used this time in Limco is what I used. And it's absolute shit. And it ain't the right color. And not only is it not the right color, but the shit's going to go on there like toilet water. So then where are you? The cheaper stuff is not always, I mean, I get it. I'm Poe. Believe it or not, I'm Poe. I mean, look around. I ain't a millionaire here. I'm Poe. So a lot of times in what I do, since I have to carry costs of the products that I use, I want to use cost-effective products, but at the same time, I mean, I still need a quality job out of it, right? But I don't want to pay an inflated cost. I mean, you can go to, I don't know, do you still got Sears where you were? We don't got Sears here, but I know the Sears Craftsman tools, they always carried a lifetime guarantee. If a Sears tool busts, you walk into Sears and they give you another tool. That's the way it used to be. We don't have Sears anymore, so you can't do that here anymore. But that's the way it used to be. So now you tell me, what in the hell's the difference between the Sears tool that you could just walk into the counter and hand them your 1/4-inch drive ratchet that you just stripped all the gears out because you're taking a stinking tire off with it. But they don't talk to you about that. They don't give a shit about that. It's guaranteed, it's warranted, they give it to you. So you can buy that ratchet for $17 from Sears and have it warranted because it's guaranteed. Or you can buy that same, well, it's not the same ratchet, but you can buy a 1/4-inch drive ratchet from Snapperhead and take it and pay $145 for it and get it replaced with him when you try to take a tire off and you rip all the gears out of it. What's the difference, right? They're both guaranteed. The only difference is the guy with the more expensive name, well, you paid more money for it because of the name. Well, it's the same thing with all this kind of shit. I've used Sikkens, I've used RM, I've used DuPont, I've used everybody. They all have different levels of cost involved, and the majority of the time, that level of cost is just because of the name. You pay more money for the. I mean, Sikkens paint is more expensive than anybody else's paint. Is it any better? Sikkens guy will say it's better, but is it? Is it? I don't know. It's better than this shit. I'll tell you that much. I'm getting into a rant, and I don't want to. But get off of there. See, I'm kind of short of patience here. But yeah, the cheaper route is not always the bester route. Because I didn't go the cheaper route on purpose on this. They couldn't mix me the color in what I wanted. And, oh, you son of a bitch. Come here. Oh, yeah. I will say that early this morning I got up and I went into town so as I could get some more paint. So I was sitting there when they opened. It's still morning. Because I want to get this done today. I am really hoping that today, you're just not cooperating with me here. I'm really hoping, and my plan is that I can get this done this morning, and I can turn the heat up in here, and then this can sit over lunchtime, and at least get dust free so that I can run her out this afternoon, and this afternoon I can bring in the hood and the tailgate, because I got to repaint everything that I already painted. And this time when I'm repainting it all, it's on me this time. So I went in this morning, is where I started with this, and the dude at the store, I was dealing with the guy that owns the store, and I didn't go in with my guns blazing and stiffing and bitching and whatever, because, I mean, it's not their fault that they couldn't mix me the color in what I wanted, because their supplier stuck it one to them, and they were just kind of trying to, I needed paint, they sold me paint. It's unfortunate the way it worked out, but anyways, point being, I went in this morning and I wasn't stiffing and bitching about it. Old Fred that owns the place, he says, "How are you today?" And all I says to him is, "I'd be a hell of a lot better if I wasn't in here buying this now, because I already did this job last week in Limco, and now this week I'm doing it again in this stuff." So I buys my paint, and I buys a little more hardener for my clear and whatever else, and I ain't really paying attention, because I mean everything's $1,000 stinking dollars nowadays. So I always shit my pants when they give me the bill. So he gave me the bill, but I didn't give my pants that big of a shitting, and I just thought, well, I guess I didn't really get much this time, so whatever. But it wasn't until I got home that I see that he didn't charge me for my color. So he gave me the color on the house because he's a hell of a fella. So when I get here, I phones him just to let him know that I really appreciate that. So that's nice. That's good. I'm quite happy about that. Didn't expect it. Didn't see it coming. But like I say, I got home and he promoted me the color. So did you get anything out of that? Are you getting why? I'm trying to explain why some paints are cheaper than others, and the reason they're cheaper than others is because the manufacturer cheaps out on the shit. I don't think that a lot of they got such different shit that it's cheap. It's just that when they're mixing it, they're cheaping out on stuff, and that's how they can reduce the price. It's the same with clear coats. You can buy really cheap clear coats, and you can buy really expensive clear coats. I don't think that the really expensive clear coats are worth 3 times the money in the difference that you're going to pay for them, but it's the same kind of thing. Believe it or not, there is solids in the clears. And the solids are like little clear, think of those little clear bubbles, and they're little clear bubbles of plastic. So, same thing, there is going to be different levels of little clear bubbles of plastic that you can buy. So your cheap clear companies, well, they're going to have less plastic bubbles, and they're going to have more syrup to float the bubbles, because it's the same idea, right? They're little microscopic bubbles in the clear, and the bubbles are floated in liquid. So when the liquid evaporates out of it, as the solvents come out, well, you're left with your layer of little wee tiny bubbles on it, and that's what gives you your solid clear coat. Well, all your shitty clears are going to have less bubbles and more goo, or they're going to have smaller bubbles, or whatever. There's going to be some reason that they can take an $800 bucket of clear and sell it to you for $350. But you ain't going to get the same result out of it. This clear that I've got here now, it's a middle of the road clear. And it gives you, well, I would say that it gives you a little more than middle of the road results, but it doesn't give you top drawer results. I've used top drawer clear, but I just can't justify the price going up and up and up and up and up. And I've said it before, I don't want to do multi-million-dollar jobs. It ain't worth it. I don't want to do it. Takes years off my life every time I do a car that's got to be too stinking nice, and it's bullshit, and I don't like it. So I don't know how long I've been rambling on here. Probably long enough. Probably tired of listening to me. So I got to get to getting, and I got to finish masking this up, and then I got to finish working for free, because this is for free. That's why it was nice that he promoted the color to me, because he knows that it's out of my pocket this time. and the clear coats out of my pocket. And the time, I did, like, this job took me 4 days start to finish because I'd done some inners and I'd done some body work to some panels the last time. So I don't have to redo all that stuff, and I'm not redoing the inners. I mean, you can see that they're not right on the money, but once everybody's together and all the shit's in here, and these new vehicles like this, they all look like shit on the insides anyway. So I don't think nobody's going to notice this. It's and whatever. I mean, kiss my monkey ass, you son of a bitch. So, anyways, I got to get to work, and I'm having a hard time coming up with anything else to say. So if you got something out of that, if you get a little bit of understanding as to why, if you buy your shit paint, if you're painting your aunt's 73 Chevette and you're doing the fender on it for a kick and to be a nice guy. But if you're doing something that's a little bit nicer, if you're working on a 2022 Dodge truck, don't go into the basement for the paint. You know, maybe you don't necessarily got to go upstairs. You can maybe go into the living room or in the kitchen, but don't go into the basement for the paint because you're just not going to be happy with what happens at the end. It's not going to do it for you. And that's why. What a bunch of rambling, hey? Can't believe that 17 of you guys watch this stuff, but I appreciate that you do.